Hi, I'm Preetipls and it's my time of the month.
Nobody asked. Literally nobody asked it.
Today I'm gonna talk about feminine sexual and reproductive health. So if you're a dude and you're watching this, I mean, doesn't hurt to get educated, okay? We all have a woman in our lives. So a couple of weeks ago on Instagram, I put out a little Q&A box saying ask me anything related to sexual and reproductive health, and I will answer to the best of my ability, and I'll also reach out to my friends at Ease to help you guys answer your questions. So if you missed it on Instagram, let me just share my experience with Ease here. So basically Ease is a startup and it helps you manage your sexual and reproductive health from the comfort of your own home. So I could just be sitting here and basically ordering birth control pills or just getting refills on the medication that I already take. So it's super convenient, and I reached out last month for a consult, and basically the consultation literally took 10 minutes and it was a video call. And after the consult with the doctor, I decided that I wanted to get a refill on my birth control pills that I was already taking a couple of months ago. And personally for me, I have a lot of ovary issues, and basically I have too much info, okay? Basically, I did not get my period this whole year. So the last time I had my period was in December, and I remember I was traveling, so I was trying to regulate my period on my own by taking the birth control pills. So you hear about people regulating their periods with birth control pills, and that was basically what I was doing last year in December. But it got super messy because I was traveling and the time zone was botched. I was just taking the pills at the wrong time, and it did not work for me because everything just got messed up. So that was the last time I had my period, and I did not get it the whole of 2020. So 2020 has been a very botched year, okay? So finally, after my consultation with the doctor via Ease, I decided that I should start back on the pills because I just want to have a monthly normal period. So that was what I wanted. So I decided that I'm gonna get another prescription of pills. I'm gonna start myself on the birth control pills, and I'm gonna bleed normally every month, okay? So that was the plan. It's been 1 month and I took the pills for the last 3 weeks, and literally this week right now I stopped taking it. So my body is realizing that I'm off the pill, and everything that's supposed to happen is happening. So I am on my period right now. I'm gonna do this for 3 months and try and teach my body how to regulate on its own and hopefully get my period normally. My body's a dumb bitch and I gotta teach it how to do things that it should already know how to do, okay? No, I'm kidding. But it's fine. It happens to a lot of people actually. This is very common. So after my consult with Ease, they also told me that I should go to a gynecologist and get an ultrasound just in case there's something else that could be wrong, or something else that obviously you can't see through a video call. So I imagine if you could do ultrasounds via video calls. Wow. And then if the government is watching your webcams and shit, then they're like, why am I looking at a uterus? I don't know, man, why are you looking at my webcam? I went to the gynecologist, I decided to go start myself on the birth control pills and do all that. I also physically went down to a gynecologist, and shout out to my gynecologist, she recognized me, so it was quite interesting because it's always interesting when someone's seeing a lot of you and they also know you online, it's very weird. But anyways, she was really nice, and I found out that I have this thing called PCOS. So it's Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, and basically it's genetic, and it's also something that can be caused by your lifestyle. And of course, because I'm overweight, it is not helpful, and there are a lot of factors that I always get told from many different doctors throughout my whole after puberty. Every time I had to go to a gynecologist or anything, I hear the same things. They always say it's stress, it's your weight, it's usually these two things that I hear a lot of. So it's very stressful because it's a cycle. You tell me that it's cause of stress, but then telling me this is causing me more stress. So it's just a lot of stress. And the weight thing has obviously been a struggle. I'm working on it, okay? I've been going for spin classes. Shout out ClassPass and Absolute Cycle. I've been going there a lot. So I'm just trying to make it more regular, but this shit gets booked up like cystic tickets, okay? So I'm just trying to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much my experience with Ease, and also my story about my lady parts nobody asked for. It just sucks to have issues, right? But I also know that taking the pills regularly and doing this can hopefully help my body learn how to do it on its own. And I mean, I'm just trying to keep positive here because I could easily just sit here and hate myself a lot, and I do that on most days, so bitch, I'm not gonna do it today. So when I put up the Q&A on IG stories, like y'all asked a lot of questions about yeast and also about like my personal experience with a lot of these things. So I will be sharing all the answers today. That's what you're here for. And shout out to Guada from East because she helped to like compile everything and also answer everything that they could help with. So shout out to her. She's been like super helpful and so like easy to talk to. I mean, easy, get it? Okay, so sorry, that was really bad. So I'll be answering all the questions and I'll also put it on screen so you guys are not like missing out anything, or in case my dumbass says anything wrongly, you will also see all the facts on screen, okay? This is gonna be way too much info, but that's what y'all asked for. So actually this nobody asked episode is somebody asked. Okay, so just a disclaimer, I'm gonna sound very educated here. The East team obviously helped to like compile a lot of your questions and answers, and if there are a lot of things that are coming out from my mouth and you're just sitting there like, damn, Preeti is so smart, just know that I probably did not write this down, okay? Yeah. So yeah, question time. Okay, so the first question that I got is, does East provide Plan B pills? So the answer is yes. So East offers two types of emergency contraception pills. So of course, if you're asking about Plan B pills, this is obviously an emergency. So you can just head to the link in bio on Ease's Instagram. So obviously everything will be linked in my caption and also it's on screen right now. So you can just head to the Instagram, click the link in the bio, fill up the telehealth form, and basically the doctors will give you a prescription and your medication will arrive in less than 24 hours. And I can say this for a fact because after my teleconsultation, I received my medication within like, I would say 3 or 4 hours. Just go sign up on the form ASAP. So the next question I got is, are yeast infections normal and what about recurring ones? So vaginal yeast infections are a very common condition. So the condition is caused by an imbalance of yeast cells and bacteria in your vagina. So there's a variety of factors that can cause this imbalance, and this includes a weakened immune system, stress, of course, you know, all the time. Stress causes most of these issues. And the next one can also be a hormone imbalance. So there's basically a whole bunch of reasons, and if you have an yeast infection, if you have ever gotten one, just know that it is common. Just see a doctor and get the medication that you need. So the next question hits very close to home because it's exactly what I'm going through. So what is the cause of irregular periods? So there's a whole bunch of reasons why your period could be irregular, but I guess some of the common ones could be stress, once again, maybe other medication that you're taking, and also if you're exercising way too much, which is not something I can relate to, but that could also be a cause. So you can't really pinpoint like one exact reason, but a whole bunch of things could cause this. But I guess the most common one, which is the one that I face, is a hormone imbalance. So basically when your body's producing way more of one hormone and not enough of the other, this could happen to you. Like you could get super irregular periods. So that's why people take birth control pills, because it helps with the hormone imbalance and it can help regulate your period for you. Does taking birth control pills on a long-term basis cause a halt in ovulation? Okay, so this depends on the type of birth control pills that you're taking. So you could be taking a combination hormonal pill, so it has a combination of 2 different hormones, or you could be taking one that's more focused on just one of the hormones. So the 2 hormones that I'm talking about are estrogen and progestin. So if you're taking a combination one, you could have like different results, but if you're taking the progestin, who's Justin though? Who? Why a man's name gotta be in this hormone? But if you're taking a progestin only birth control, that actually kind of stops ovulation in about 40% of women. So birth control pills do not cause a permanent halt in ovulation. So you will return to your normal menstrual cycle and you will have ovulation within weeks of taking the pills. Is it okay to have menstruation for 4 days instead of the usual 7-day period? This is triggering all my secondary school bio knowledge, but basically they always say the average menstrual cycle is 28 days long. But sister, have you met me? Yeah, so I remember actually my mom, like when I was younger, my mom always told me like it's normal for my period to be like 3 days, 5 days, 7 days and stuff like that. So actually if your periods last maybe even 2 days all the way up to 7 days, you know, I think it's completely normal as long as it's a regular period. So I think it's only a cause of concern if your periods are really irregular and it comes and goes like not even monthly, you know, you're not getting it for a couple of months and stuff like that, and when it comes, it only lasts for a day, or like suddenly it will last for 7 days. Like if it's really like you can never pinpoint this, then I think it's definitely something that you need to go see a doctor about. You can get a teleconsultation via Ease, or you can go to a gynecologist, because this is something that you should get checked out in case it could be a factor or like a symptom of a way larger problem. So it's always better to check yourself before you wreck yourself lah. I just got my first UTI and I'm still recovering from it. Just wondering if I've experienced it before. Whoa, that's a lot of information you want to find out about me. I feel like I have experienced a UTI before, but I can't remember because I was probably really young. So I remember there being like a point in time, I think I was in primary school or secondary school, but I remember having a UTI because like I was in so much pain and it like burns when you pee, and I was like, what do I do? And obviously I was a child, so I was not sexually active, so I'm just like, there is nothing that could possibly have caused this, or like, did I do something wrong? So I remember freaking out, but I remember the classic like solution or the thing that everyone tells you to do. So I remember my mom making me drink a lot of cranberry juice, and I remember trying to ask if I could get Ribena instead, thinking that they're the same thing. I was a child, okay? So I guess that is all I remember from my UTI experience. I don't think I experienced this like in the recent years of my life, so I would have remembered it if I did. So I have not experienced it as an adult, but as a child, that was my memory of it. I still don't know what caused it. I was too young to ask all those questions. I just drank a lot of cranberry juice, and eventually, I don't remember if I saw a doctor, but obviously if you're having a UTI, go see a doctor. It hurts, you know, go see a doctor, go do whatever you can to relieve yourself at home, aka the cranberry juice and stuff like that. But go to the toilet every time you need to, you know, those are just some things that I guess I've seen or heard online. But of course, go see a doctor because you are going to be in a lot of pain for sure. So I hope whoever asked this question, I hope you're recovering fine. I hope you've recovered. How can we figure out when we're most fertile if our periods are really irregular? So honestly, this is such a good question because obviously I'm not at a stage in my life where I'm thinking about like fertility a lot, or like when in my period is the time where I should be trying to get pregnant. Obviously I'm not thinking about that now, but I know that it's something that you can easily track with apps, and if you're like typing everything in and actually keying in when you're like on your period every month, the apps usually tell you like, okay, you know, on this day it's likely that you're gonna be like peak ovulation, you know, go get laid now, you know, if you wanna get pregnant, obviously. Yeah, so I guess it's always best case scenario if your periods are really regular, because then it's easy to like just you know, recall when you had your last one. Basically, you can find out when you are most fertile by checking your body temperature. So they do all the COVID measurements, Scully, they're just trying to see if I'm fertile. So according to EASE, when you track your basal body temperature, that's when you will find a spike whenever ovulation occurs. So you will know like, okay, that's when the baby making needs to happen. And if you're wondering what is a basal body temperature, it's your temperature when you're fully at rest. So don't check it when you're obviously like super active and you just like did a whole bunch of stuff, because obviously you're gonna be like, it's gonna be a way higher and inaccurate temperature. So basal body temperature when you are completely resting, chilling, that's when you need to check. And if there's a spike, then that's when you know that that's probably when ovulation just went down. What about those who want to get pregnant? Does EASE provide consultations for you guys? Yes, so EASE provides teleconsultations for anything and everything related to sexual and reproductive health. So obviously if you're trying to get pregnant, go make a consult with EASE. If you want to do it from the comfort of your own home, that is like the easiest thing you could possibly do. So same thing, link in their bio, I'll put it in the description box below. What if I got an IUS fitted 3 years ago and I want to get a fertility test done? Do I need to remove the IUS? An IUS is an intrauterine system, so basically it is a T-shaped device that is inserted in your body to help release like low levels of hormones. So this helps to prevent pregnancy. So it's like people would get an IUS or an IUD. I guess it's up to you, or whichever works better for you. So of course, depending on your doctor's consultation. So to answer the question, no, you do not need to remove your IUS, but the hormones that you can test for your fertility depends on the type of birth control pills that you're taking. How do you convince judgmental conservative Indian parents that you need birth control pills? Okay, so I guess when I was younger and I first started facing like super irregular periods, and that's when I was like, of course I told my mom, because I don't remember how old I was, but I think I was in secondary school. So that's when oh no, this was probably after secondary school, in poly. Yeah, so I was like already like an 18-19-year-old, and I was obviously scared because I'm like, I don't know what's happening, why are my periods so irregular, like what's wrong? So of course I told my mom, and I guess like of course I see that it's very like, I'm very fortunate to be able to talk to my mom about these things because she's a cool mom, you know. So I obviously went to my mom, and then she went down with me to my first ever gynecologist appointment, which I thought was really awkward, but of course that went down and that was fine. And yeah, eventually like now as a grown-ass adult, I obviously go to these things on my own, but I obviously keep my mom updated and stuff, and she knows that I'm on the birth control pills, but she knows that, but it's also like tricky because my reasons for being on the pill is obviously to like regulate my period. So my reasons for being on birth control pills is not to actually birth control. So it's easy to explain that to my mom or explain that to like I guess judgmental Indian conservative parents, because you know, as much as they're going to be like, birth control pills, you know, because it's an actual like health concern and because I actually want to not have to worry about infertility and things like that and just have a normal period, I guess that's a big enough justification. So I'm not too like worried about that or worried about like my mom judging me, of course. I guess if you're taking birth control pills obviously for like the most obvious reason, which is to actually like work as birth control, then I guess there are some things you don't tell your parents about because you have to make important life decisions like that. And if you are going to like not be on the pill or not take that precautionary measure just because you're afraid of your parents judging you, then I think it's something that you just need to like weigh out on your own, because at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do is to have an accidental pregnancy. You know, that's like the last thing you want to face. So I really think like, because this is way larger than all of us and it's a very important thing, I think that sometimes if you're gonna face the judgment, you're gonna face the judgment. But also, a heads up, when I ordered my stuff from Ease, it really comes in the most discreet packaging, so nobody in the world will be able to tell that it's birth control pills. It's literally all wrapped up and it just says my name and address. So I could be like, hey, my friend just sent me a gift, you know, I could pull that shit. So if you can't have that conversation yet, but this is something that you obviously need and something that you can't like sit there and debate about, and you just want to be on the pill because that's the safer thing to do and the smart option, of course, instead of like resorting to like unwanted pregnancies, because that's like, nobody wants to face that, right? So I think go ahead, make a consultation with Ease and actually like get the pills, get the prescription from your doctor. Obviously discuss with them your concerns, if there's anything else, and if your reason behind it is not just for birth control, if there are any other health reasons, of course tell them everything, lay it all out there, and then make an order at Ease. That's the only way I know of where you don't have to actually like physically go to a gynecologist, you know, make a doctor's appointment and actually go to the pharmacy at the hospital to buy those pills and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really as discreet as it gets. So if you are not ready to have that very difficult conversation with your parents, but you are ready to make a decision like this, then get the consultation, you know, discuss your options and do what you gotta do. Because yeah, I think it's not, if you weigh out the pros and cons here, I don't think it's worth it to like be afraid of the judgment that you might receive from your family for doing something that's could potentially be a really smart and important decision that you make for your own sexual health. And of course, as contraception. Okay, so I found the box from Ease, but basically this is what you get when you unwrap it. So this is wrapped in like, it was like a grey or white plastic, and it was just my address, my name. It looks like you buy something from like Taobao or like Shopee or Lazada or whatever, you know, it just looks like you bought some random shit. So yeah, it's the most random thing. But mine came, like it was a courier thing, so it came directly to my house and I just took it on my own. So I guess like if there is a time slot where you need it delivered where no one else can judge you for it, maybe that's something that you can request for. But yeah, this is the packaging after I open the plastic. It's just a box that says Ease, and in there it's like a couple of notes and like information and stuff, and also my prescription with the actual prescription written down and signed by the doctor and everything. My menstrual cycle is extremely irregular, but I'm not sure if I should take birth control pills. Can Ease also prescribe hormonal pills for irregular periods? Not sure which brands to use. One of the benefits of taking birth control pills is a more regular and lighter period, as well as lesser cramps. So birth control pills help to regulate and get that average 28-day menstrual cycle, and it's basically one of the most effective ways to solve your irregular period issue. So when I had my teleconsultation with Ease, the doctor asked me if I took birth control pills before and if I wanted to stick with the brand that I've already tried before, if I wanted to try something new. And I guess basically people would switch pills or try something new only if they have a negative experience with the pill that they've tried. So this could be really like maybe really drastic or like severe side effects. But for me, it was, I would say it's the normal side effects. So when I took birth control pills many years ago, I got the usual like breakouts and my mood was shit, okay? Like I was just like in a shit mood all the time. But then again, I'm usually in a really like, I'm in a mood most of the time, so you know, I can't really attribute it to the pills. It was just convenient too. So recently when I started taking it again in the last month, I've also kind of faced the same things. Earlier in the month I broke up quite a bit, so the power of makeup. But I have like a really bad pimple here which is going down, and I think I had like 3 massive pimples on my face, and I was just lethargic like most of the time. But I also think like that's just when you take pills that like do stuff to your hormones, that's a given. So yeah, nothing too drastic to make me like not want to take this brand anymore or make me like want to switch. It's different for everyone else, so if you try it, anything severe, drastic, you know, consult a doctor, switch it up, try something different, and yeah, share with the doctor all the concerns that you have. And maybe if you've had a bad experience with anything else, just put it out there, you know, don't feel obliged to like I should take the same thing, or like maybe it's supposed to happen so I should deal with it, you know. Just put it all out there when you get your consultation. So the next one I got is, I worry that I may have problems trying to have a family in the future. Okay, real talk, I am a 25-year-old who has never been in a relationship and is nowhere near starting my own family, but this is something I think about all the time. So I think about it all the time because I obviously want to have like kids in the future, and I have actually been told, you know, that it's going to be difficult already. So I've actually, like, in both my visits to gynecologists, like infertility is something that has been mentioned, has been like thrown out there, but it's just very like scary. And obviously it's not something, a conversation I want to like go delve into and have a full-on conversation about that now, because I mean with my gynecologist, because that's not my focus right now, and I just want to focus on the getting a freaking regular period and then worrying about all these heavy things like maybe when I'm slightly older. But this is the first thing that I need to solve right now, and it is very normal to worry about these things no matter how old you are, no matter how your reality is like, or how close you are to starting that family. It is something that a lot of women worry about. So there are many studies out there that say that you are likely to conceive even if you have used any form of birth control pills in the past, as much as a person who has never used any form of like hormonal contraceptives. So although it may take a couple of months for it to return to the normal levels, your fertility will return as long as you stop using any form of contraception. How do you or Ease think accessibility to sexual health services can be improved, especially regarding STD checks and pap smears? So typically the common reasons why people avoid, you know, getting STD checks or pap smears is usually the judgment, the stigma, and the very high cost. So currently pap smears can only be done in hospitals and clinics, but for STD checks you can actually do this at the comfort of your own home. So Ease is actually launching an STD test kit really soon, and of course it hopes to make this whole process of getting STD checked super convenient, accessible, and affordable for anyone and everyone out there. So personally, to answer your question, I definitely think like the stigma is wild, because every time I step into a gynecologist clinic or anything, it's just very like overwhelming, and you see like people like ready to pop like 9 months pregnant there with their like husbands, and you're just there like, fuck, why do I have so many like issues with myself? And it's just very overwhelming, and it's a lot lah, it's a lot. And then when you just like look at everyone else in the room, and then they're there for extremely different reasons, and you're just here like, man, I haven't even started this process of starting a family, but I'm really like, there's already a lot going on here, you know. So I guess it's just very overwhelming, and I'm not too like worried about the stigma, because like I said, like my mom's cool, so personally not something I have to worry about. But of course it's something that I hate talking about, because like it's something that stresses you out a lot. You're always like, for me personally, I'm always like in a bad mood when I have to like deal with this or talk about it, or like just stress about these things. And it's not something that you just want to share, or you just want to tell everyone and be like, oh, you know, yeah, I have to worry about like possible infertility, you know. Like it's not something it's not a casual dinner conversation, so it's not something you share a lot. So it's just a lot to like have in your mind and just weighing on your shoulders lah. So personally, like, it's a conversation I hate having, and I guess that's probably similar for a lot of people out there. So maybe it becomes a conversation they don't have. So I think with stuff like making sexual healthcare way more accessible, like me being able to get a consult from the privacy of my own room, like I think that is just so helpful, because there are obviously so many people out there who don't have the luxury of just like, okay, going to a gynecologist and not having to tell their family members like where they're going, what they're up to, what they're doing, and why do they need to visit the doctor. And it's just all these very difficult conversations you need to have. So being able to do this online on my own computer and in my room is just insane to me. And of course, you know, receiving the medication in the comfort of my own home, like that is convenience that I can't even begin to explain. That it's amazing, because I think we all have experienced queuing and waiting at pharmacies and waiting for numbers to be called and just sitting there for ages, wasting our time lah. So I think this is something we can all obviously relate to and realize that this is a huge like burden off our shoulders. And I think like making the first step to even like do something about your sexual health, or like talk to a doctor, or like get it checked, whatever you may be having, to get anything checked. I think it's a huge step for a lot of people to take. And when the step comes with so many like strings attached, or a lot of like concerns and things that other issues that you might need to deal with, it just turns you off from making that first step. And that's always like a bad decision, to like not see a doctor because you're scared. Like, it's something that you should never procrastinate, but you do, just because you don't want to hear something that your doctors might say. So it's very unhealthy to do that, and I think a teleconsultation really takes a lot of the stress off. So if you have been afraid to go see a gynecologist, or just go get yourself STD checked, or pap smear test, or anything at all, or if you've been having super irregular periods and you have no idea how to solve it, just get a 10-minute teleconsultation, and I think like you will see the light. There will be so much clarity. So yeah, make this first step, because it could be a very important first step, and it's also a very easy first step to take because of how convenient, accessible, affordable it is. So yeah, just do it if you need to. Okay, so the last question I got is, what are the accuracy and affordability of Ease STD test kits like? So it's something that Ease has not launched yet, but they are in the midst of launching, so it'll be coming out really soon. So here's what Ease has shared with me, okay? So Ease is going to explain more about the kits when they get way closer to their launch date, so you can find all the information on their Instagram page. So their at-home STD kits are processed by their partner laboratory, which also processes numerous test samples from different sexual health clinics all across Singapore. So as long as you follow the instructions on the test kit when you're collecting your own samples, the test will have the same high level of accuracy as a test that you would take at a sexual health clinic. So in terms of affordability, Ease is trying its best to make it as affordable as possible. So it will cost lesser than a test that you would take at a private clinic, because Ease is committed to making this as affordable as possible, so it can stay accessible to as many people, anyone and everyone out there who needs to take an STD test. Okay, that is all I have for y'all today. That was a long ass episode. Nobody asked, but actually so many people asked. Wow. So thank you to everyone who actually like went on Instagram and sent in all your questions. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all appreciate me back, because this was a lot of facts that I just had to spit out. So I hope this was helpful, like legit. So comment below, tell me that you think I'm cute as hell. Also, maybe you want to tell me that I'm so cute because I wore this color, because Ease's color is like similar to this. Oh my god, we love a color coordinating queen. So we've come to the end of this video. I have now removed my dog from the bed. Oh, she's so bored. So thanks for watching this video. I hope it was useful for you guys, and thank you for sending in your questions. And also, I hope that I managed to answer everything, and if there are any questions left like unanswered, please feel free to comment below. I will try to answer if it's based off like my own personal experience. But if it's something that the Ease team can help with, then I'll try to get an answer from them as well, and then I will just comment it back to you guys. So hopefully you guys can get everything answered. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if there's anything else that you want me to share about or talk about. And maybe if this bitch stops yawning, then I know that this was not boring as shit lah. Goodbye for now while I enjoy my time with my dog. Goodbye.